Hello to you all. Grand rising, grand afternoon, grand evening to you, wherever you are, whatever time you're seeing this. It is, let me check the time, 2:30 in the afternoon here. Um, I don't really know how much of an introduction this needs, but it's been placed on my heart for quite some time now, but I've been writing and paying attention to things a lot more recently, and I tried to record a video or something on my Snapchat even to try to see if I could capture the stars and the flying objects, let's just call them, that I was seeing and observing recently. And I'm going to even take off my glasses for this. Because I don't want this message to get lost in translation at all. I'm actually going to scoot closer when I share this. And I want this message to go out to everyone truly, but particularly, oops, bricks in the back disappeared for a second. Particularly to those in the United States, particularly to those who are supporting the United States in any way, in finances, in the conversations, talking about the United States being the best or one of the greatest countries or whatnot. I want to have this message reach those people. So that is my intention, right? Hi, hello, everyone in the chat. But also, I'm going to ignore the chat as well because this message I want to be timeless. So I didn't put an age restriction to this, but sincerely, if you are under the age of 16, maybe skip this one out, maybe not. We're all here for a purpose, right? But I got this message, and really I should say transmission, but it was a few days ago and I sat on it because I was like, well, what if this is not what's been placed in my spirit? What if this is my ego talking, right? And if you didn't know, hello, my name is Jazziel. I'm a person who hears messages in their spirit and gives them to the people. That's all I'm going to say about that. But I was watching and catching up, not with the news, I don't watch TV, but watching on different platforms with research articles, with noticing the weather changes, with me going outside, like I said, trying to record the night sky and see the stars and the flying objects and things like that. And these pulsing lights. I just keep seeing pulsing lights. And then and I'm so glad, this is the only, good thing about living in a small city or town, I should say, is that there's barely any light pollution. So you can see the stars in the sky very, very, very clearly at night. Okay? And that's why I'm saying this. That's why I'm sharing this message. Because I had to sit on it and I was like, well, is this really my connection or is this something that I just heard online? So I sat with it. And then the next day I started writing things out and I started getting more and more things and messages to share. So yeah. So I'm just going to share it because I do believe that aliens are going to, as we know them, aliens, right? But aliens are going to reach another point of contact with humanity because of what's going on now. So let me just preface that and say that. So again, I'm going to ignore the chat because I want this message to reach those in the United States specifically and I want it to be something that I don't focus on the back and forth or what people are asking me in the comments. So, yeah, I'm just gonna share. So, there was someone online saying that we have footage and evidence of a smaller type of spying or probing um, alien craft. Excuse me, alien craft, right? And it was a very small in terms of like comparing it to a plane or like a jet, right? It was small and it was a sphere and it had a lot of things engraved on it, right? And people were showing videos of it and things. I'm like, wait, what if that's AI, you know? So I just keep doing research and things. And then, you know, I'm trying to just give things time, let it breathe, because this sighting was in public and people have footage of it clear as day, right? It's not just one person that was posting about it, it was from multiple people. And there was someone who had like, I don't know what country, but there was like an official from that government in that country that had gotten a hold of it and was like showing up close and like touching it. And I was like, oh my gosh, you know, like that would be shocking to us if we, as the masses, understood that, you know, this is going to be our future. It's just more sightings, more type of like communication from things from outer space, right? And then I keep seeing like people posting about different images or things in the clouds, right? And it was like, okay, you know, you can't really dispute those things. And then I go outside and then I'm looking through my videos of nature and I'm like, wait, it was like a video of me making fun of clouds, right? And the shapes, not really making fun, you know, but like, oh, who drew these clouds type of thing. But then I watched the video with that kind of like filter, if you will, in mind. And it was like, oh, wait a minute. Maybe that's not just a funny looking cloud. And then I don't know if you guys, you know, who's going to watch this in the future, right? I don't know if you guys have watched that movie, Nope, I believe is what it's called. Excuse me. Sorry. I believe it was called Nope, but it was by Jordan Peele. And it was a movie that, you know, the trailers made it look a certain way, but it was that unidentified flying object, right, was an actual sentient craft itself. Like, the twist in the movie, if you haven't seen it, was that it was a flying, you know, saucer looking ship that was like hiding in the clouds at first, and then it got closer and landed and was like messing with this like horse rancher, right? And he was older, and then he had like two children. So the son was the one who made contact with it, but throughout the movie, it was like there were certain tricks and things around it that you know, eventually led to them catching it on film at a cost, right? But also like making it out alive. They were really beat up. They were really like shocked and disheveled and stuff. But it was a thing about keeping your head down and not looking at it to not make contact with it. But the ship was the alien itself. That was the twist. So it was like it was an alien in a ship, and it was like consuming things to stay alive, so to speak. But it was hidden in plain sight. That was like the whole point of the movie. Something is hidden in plain sight. Excuse me. And the more closer you go to nature, the more scary or spooky or alien-like things become, right? They talk about how the elements, the elementals, they're all spirits that you can come in contact with, or you could, give offerings to, or work with potentially. But it's only something that you do respectfully, obviously. Just like with aliens, you're not going to meet an alien or come in contact with an alien if you're making fun of the idea of aliens existing in the first place, right? This is not Men in Black type of thing where, oh, I don't believe in aliens, they're going to come down and kill us all, and then you meet one, and then it's like, oh my gosh, I was totally wrong, aliens exist. And then the next day, Man in Black shows up, wipes your memory. Like, that's not going to happen anymore. Like, there's way too much proof, and people, number one, showing a proof, right? Number two, there's way too much out in the open, especially if you live in more rural, or, like I said, like natural places like forest, farmland, close to the ocean, stuff like that, and places like that are gonna get more sightings, if not actual, like, you see with your own eyes, like you could record and document it as proof. So yeah, there was someone who was like filming, and this is what I'm talking about with seeing other people posting about these crafts. Like, there was someone else who posted about how they thought that there was a rocket that was falling from the sky, or a meteor. So she was recording it. She's like, oh wait, shouldn't it be on fire if it was something that fell out of the sky, right? And then it slowly dropped like behind one of the houses or something, and she filmed it, and she was like, waiting for the impact sound or a ripple or something, but it didn't happen. And I was watching a whole news segment clip on that, and they were interviewing her, and then they put up clips of her video, like filmed it from an iPhone or a smartphone, you know what I'm saying? And then there was another one where they were talking about certain incidents of alien activity wasn't allowed to be filmed by, cell phone companies, the government, whatever you want to say, right? But it's a point of trying to erase what's already here, trying to hide what's already happening, trying to close the minds of people instead of expanding it, right? We have so many technological advancements in terms of humanity, right? Recently, since 2020, we live a totally different life with, first it was with ChatGPT, now it's AI, right? And then just think of all the advancements that happened from 2020 to 2025 with solar technology, with the internet, with making businesses, making apps, making communities, live streaming, social media advancements, right? There's so many different types of facial recognition type of apps, or type of technology that we have now, right? And it's just slowly coming out of, like, the information is like slowly being funneled out to the masses. But there has been numerous times where there has been alien contact and alien activity, and they know where they come from. They know what planet, they know what type of race, if you want to say, they are. They know what star system they're from. They have this information, but they don't want to let go of the paradigm of control and war and religion, because all of those things separate us. If we had knowledge to technology, being able to advance agriculture, being able to advance the way that we live in harmony with Earth, right? Like, imagine instead of AI and the internet taking away resources, taking away water, taking away clean air, imagine if it did the opposite. Imagine if it reversed that. Imagine if there was free internet and clean water everywhere. Imagine if we had less light pollution and more breathable cities and walkways. Imagine that, right? Just imagine with me. that would pull us into a different dimension where you wouldn't need so many doctors, you wouldn't need so many occupations, because there would be harmony, because there would be mass evolution instead of de-evolution, which is what we are seeing now today. There have been cures to diseases given a long time ago, yet we're still fighting and donating money to cancer research, yet we're still fighting and donating money to diabetes types of clinics, right? Yet we're still having things like children's hospitals. Why is a child that sick to where they're on their deathbed in the first place? Think about these things, right? Just pause and think about it for more than a minute, more than a day, more than what you're taught to believe. Because we are rapidly advancing, just like we are rapidly awakening to the fact that so many indigenous and aboriginal cultures respected and praised matriarchy, respected and praised and worked with nature, animism, right? There are cultures that have a deity for every single part of nature. For, again, the elementals, the wind, the water, the rain, the earth, the thunder, the wind, right? These are things that are historically proven and factual and given to humanity to be able to further evolve civilization. And somewhere, not me, but somewhere we as humanity stopped that process and decided to control and get one up on each other. And I don't know why that is, but this is the message that was given to me to share. So, again, after sitting on this, after seeing the evidence, after doing a little bit of research, it was like hours. I was looking up this stuff for hours and just, seeing what was on TikTok as well, because obviously they don't show everything on the news. They don't even show protests that are happening on the news. Like, my goodness, right? And there was also someone that I listened to that was channeling certain messages, and it was like I had heard bits and pieces of them, and like some things I just knew in my spirit, but she was saying like all of it, like that I was missing, like everything that was filling in the gaps was what she was saying for me. So I was like, I just saw a video like that. Oh my gosh, okay. So yeah, I listened to them for quite a bit. Like, I'm talking quite a bit. It wasn't a personal tarot reading. It wasn't anything like that. It was literally a message from what she called the Galactic Federation, right? Excuse me. Hopefully, when you're seeing this, you would have heard of them before. But, and then it was someone else who made a video who was talking about that aliens will make contact again soon, but they are still traveling here from far away. And then there was someone else who was saying those sounds that you hear in the sky, the changing of time, like hearing birds chirping at night and like dogs barking more in the morning, or dogs barking more at night, and birds chirping at night as well. Like those are things that the earth is like trying to show us, to like give hints to things, right? And it's not just fireworks. Like there's been a lot more drone shows and what is it called, like sky shows, like stuff with jets in the sky, polluting the environment, right? But also like stuff with drone shows coming into the 4th of July. So yeah, it's a lot of things that they're intentionally putting in the sky to distract us. And just like talks of war, right? Talking of World War III, talking of another big draft. Again, I want this message to reach people in the United States, or those supporting the United States, right? And then you go and look in what's going on the other side of that, like outside of that. it's okay, the continent of Africa as a whole has taken back their resources from France. And France is now a third world country in terms of their economy, in terms of their resources and connections, right? So you have the indigenous everywhere fighting back right now. Just like you have the indigenous on other sides of the world or other countries, across the waters that are being heavily targeted, that are having their land stolen, that are having their identity stolen, that are having their way of speaking and talking just taken away from them or attempted to be taken away from them, because you can't, that's something in their spirit, you can't fully take it away, right? It's not a physical thing. And I'm just trying to like put all these things together. It's like, wow, there's so much shifting and changing because of the rise of wisdom, the rising of the vibration of this planet, the rising of human consciousness. And I'm not talking about AI, I'm not talking about ChatGPT, I'm talking about those of us who are literally doing the work internally. Those of us who are tasked with thinking completely different than their family. I'm talking about those who have been through, really, really, really dark times, and they are just now getting on the other side of that. They're just now getting to the light at the end of the tunnel, about to walk through the door, right? That's who I'm speaking on. I'm speaking on those people who are like, hey, this isn't right, and it hasn't been right my whole life. It hasn't been right your whole life. So why are we continuing to do this still, right? And I think that's why aliens will come in my lifetime. I firmly believe that in my lifetime, right? But that's why I believe aliens or higher intelligent beings will actually descend to Earth. Because the Earth is also, it's very old, first of all. It's very old. Older than any country will even give credit to. But it is a place that thrives without humans on it. Let me just preface that. So there have been many visitors, right? But those who have chosen to stay and plant their feet in the soil and actually grow and build things, those were the people that were supposed to further humanity. And somewhere along the lines it got corrupted. I don't know everything. I don't know the full true history of things. This is just what's been put in my spirit and what has come to my awareness, right? Well, let me just preface that. But 1 second, actually. I'll be right back. Let me check something. Okay. So, the other part of this message that I really want to get across is this is all connected to your soul, right? There's not a lot of actual health advice when it comes to your spirit, when it comes to your soul, when it comes to the higher intelligence that is attached to you, right? Because we do have a higher self and a lower self. Despite what you've been taught, information is channeled to you in your spirit from your higher self. So everything in your life that you do matters. And the choices that you make also really, really matter at the end of the day. So your higher self is the one that is leading you towards divinity, towards holiness, towards ascension, towards everything that you view as, how do I say this, towards righteousness, right? Let's just say it like that. The things that help you move forward past the trauma, the things that help you move forward past hatred, the things that help you get out of that cycle that keeps repeating in your life, the things that help you have awareness is coming from your spirit, which is your higher self, right? And the higher consciousness or ascended masters or spiritual beings, guides, gods and goddesses, they are all within you. You have the ability to embody them or channel them for certain times of your life, for certain messages, for certain ways of communication with, maybe it was advice for someone else and you just needed to tell them in that moment, right? All of that is coming from your higher self. And your higher self is not dense, it's not sick, and it's not confused by the opinions and illusions and powers of this world. It comes from outside of this world. But the more you ground yourself with the actual planet, the actual divine intelligence that is Mother Earth, you will start to understand more of your spirit, more of the intelligence, more of everything as a whole, right? And after this message, I'm right outside, right into nature. I'm going to go ground my energy. And the other part of that is everything that your higher self is teaching you is leading you to the creator, the oversoul, the person, not the person, I'm sorry, the being that creates light itself. Not a woman, not a man, not a god or goddess. It is above all of those things, right? And they have put it in my spirit to emphasize to people, what are you doing to further your soul? What are you doing to ascend? What are you doing in service of humanity? Right? I'm not coming on here and sharing this message because I thought it was cool, because I thought it was cute, because I wanted attention. No, this is literally, again, something I sat on. I slept on it. 2 nights passed. And a third day, and I'm like, man, I'm in here. I made a smoothie, right? I'm cooking a little bit. Delicious, by the way. I'm making sure I'm not eating things that are too dense, too processed. Trying to make sure my water intake is good. I'm trying to find that internal balance to even be able to receive these messages, to be able to get the guidance and the downloads, as they call it, the channeled messages. So after 28 minutes of talking, I will share from the oversoul and from the star galaxies, the star races, the higher intelligence beings, or aliens, as you would like to call them. Pay attention to symbols, mannerisms, and energy. If someone denies or is afraid of their part in the past, or their past in general, take heed. If someone is anti-human, meaning in the way that they talk about people, the way that they talk about policies, the way that they view the world, if they are anti-human, dare I say, anti-earth, right? Anti-natural and pro-technology and pro-war, just put it like that. If someone is anti-human, they have been corrupted. That's how you are to view them, as corrupted. They are limited in their ability to discern and to connect with their higher self. That's only a connection and a path that they have to take to have that tether come back again. They're confused and limited. And you're to see them as having been corrupted. Don't give them your energy or your life force. Meaning, that's why I said view them as corrupted or limited, because if you keep coming up to someone, right? This is for non-religious people, because in every holy text, there are examples of how to deal with people like this. A lot of them talk about people being spiritually dead or spiritually awakened, right? So, if they're corrupted and confused, they are spiritually dead. Think of it like that. But don't give them your energy or life force, meaning don't keep trying to get them to change. Don't keep trying to tell them things, tell them facts, tell them history, tell them anything. Because again, that's their own personal choices that got them to that point. That's their own judgment and flawed view of thinking that has brought them to that point. And if they're not listening to what's in their spirit, then there's another spirit in command. So do not give them your life force energy or anything in terms of trying to reach to them. Some of them know exactly what they're doing. Some of them are comfortable in their blindness. Some of them are comfortable living the same day over and over and over and over and over, yet still don't want to actually get to the bottom of why they're feeling that way. Some people don't even want to fast or change their diet. They'd rather just stick with the symptoms and go to the store or go to a pharmacy or go to something that is only going to have them coming back more and more and more and more times. Okay? It's a sickness. It's an addiction to some. So that's the background of this. Aliens will come soon. They are more than 100 times more advanced than us right now, in terms of humanity, right now. They are coming because those in charge have almost completely colonized humanity. And what that means is the way that they think. There are very, very, very few in terms of the population as a whole, right? The 7 or 8 billion people. I'm not sure the specific number, but it was told to me there are 8 billion people in the world at one point in time. So let's just say between 7 and 8 billion people, right? Very few have actually awakened and ascended to the point where they're able to see through illusions, where they're able to see past dogma and doctrine. Okay? Very few people are alive today that actually do every single thing in their life with the spirit of love. I'm not even to that point anymore. I'm working on releasing tension and fear and relationships that don't serve me. Again, I'm still working on that. But there are very few people who are devout to the point of treating everyone they meet and come across with love and kindness. And those people don't live in the United States. So that, again, is why I want to preface and have the intention of this message reaching those in the United States. Okay. They're coming because those in charge have almost completely colonized humanity. They use strategic systems to contain information and keep us on a certain timeline. Earth's changes are proof. So again, what I was talking about with the changing of the response in nature, to the solar flares, to the coronal mass ejections, as science would like to say, in the cloud formations, in what we see at night, just looking up at the stars. Not everything you see is a drone. Not everything you see is a plane. Okay? If you haven't taken time to look outside and actually look for more than 30 seconds into the sky, you will see more and more and more of them. Because what I was seeing and what I have been seeing is there's a net of them just spread out among this net, or grid, if you want to say. But they're spaced out all over. So if you're looking on the east, if you're looking on the north, if you're looking on the west, if you're looking on the south, excuse me again, confirmation, you will see them. You will see the stars. You will see these flying objects. You will see these pulsing lights. You will see them, right? I went for many walks in 2 different cities now. But I went for many walks where I saw it looked like a very bright star, is the way I'll describe it. But it looked like a very bright star, and it stayed in that position. It stayed in that exact coordinate. And I kept walking, and I walked around. I did turns, I was walking through different roads, through streets, going into neighborhoods. That pulsing light, that star, stayed exactly in that same position. If I were to go right underneath it, one of them was like under a car dealership, is where it was on top of. I was like, okay, I'd be trespassing, right? But next to that was like some sort of like electric, not electric, what was it? Like some sort of power plant or like power coil. I don't know how to describe it again, but it's like it's where the car dealership got its like electricity and things to keep the lights on, right? Um, but then I went into the neighborhood that I was staying at with family at the time, and you could see it like clear, outside of the light pollution. You could still see that star, and I was like, oh my goodness. And obviously, it's not going to catch on my camera. I have a Google Pixel 7, and it's not going to capture on my camera. I had a hard enough time capturing the moon when it was full. I had to like manipulate the little darkness settings, the hot and cold filters on it to just get the details of the full moon. So there's no shot in me even capturing footage of any of these things. But that's what I'm talking about. With the Earth's changes are proof. The changes in the amount of different tornado formations that we've seen, the hurricanes that were happening in 2024, right? The again, with the changes in technology, with the water and the air being more contaminated and less accessible to its citizens, unless you want to pay for clean water, right? Like you can't just turn on your faucet and get water. You would have to boil it, or else it would get you sick. I don't recommend taking long showers either. So that's what I'm speaking on, with almost colonizing all of humanity, its resources, the earth. The Schumann resonance, I almost said resonance. The Schumann resonance this year, after this current administration came into place, was off the charts. Off the charts. So people were getting irrationally angry when he was in office, yes, but not because he was in office. There are more things happening behind the scenes in terms of science, in terms of nature. We've discovered different types of species, different types of fossilized creatures. They've opened up tombs and discovered so many different types of parts of human history, parts of the Earth's history this year alone, that they're trying to put news headlines or rage bait or whatever in front of that. You know how many musicians and artists are on tour right now? Because it's a distraction. That's the point I'm trying to make. They've colonized the way that we think and pay attention to things. The attention is the energy. The attention is the currency. Okay? Earth's changes of this are proof. Cosmic shifts and battles are happening now in 2025. There were no diseases, wars, separation, or false intelligence from how they projected civilizations to evolve after their beginning contacts, right? Aliens have visited this planet and spoke to the world leaders many times. Those leaders chose this reality. We were supposed to unify with technology, advance agriculture, so there would be no diseases. Then explore the entire globe and reach the emissaries for the sea to create perfect harmony between water civilizations and those on the land. The end result of this would be that animals and plants of all species would help us evolve. There was no famine, disease, or illness physically, mentally, or spiritually, with everything that was taught when the first alien encounters happened. Back then, they respected the dead and preserved their bloodlines. Let me say that again. Back then, they respected the dead and preserved their bloodline. What does that mean? They preserved civilizations. They respected differences because they understood that that's what nature is. It is cycles of life and death and rebirth. It is cycles of planting, changing the soil, what's it called? Watering it, weeding, and seeing the harvest and reaping what you sow. There wasn't all this instant gratification, instant, oh, I need these results. Oh, I need to focus on this. I need to focus on that. Oh, I can't go to the gym. Oh, I can't eat this food. Oh, I didn't drink enough water today. Oh, I gotta keep up with the news. Oh, I gotta, download the software. No, none of that. None of that. None of that. Warping reality distorted the truth. Desecration of wisdom, artifacts, and symbols created the separation we see today. They did this from robbing tombs. They did this from taking people from this land to that land to that land to that land. That is how human evolution actually happened. Because, for example, the way that our noses are shaped, some of them have adapted to higher climates. Some of them have adapted to more humid climates. Some of them have adapted to dry climates. Some of them have adapted to being in desert landscapes instead of by oceans and waters, right? Now people are changing their noses for a beauty standard or for something that they're insecure about. Okay, we are actively trying to change our appearance to erase history today. We are actively learning about our history through false and corrected documents, through corrected museums, through corrected lenses of seeing certain races or certain land territories as successors, as dominant, as the winners, instead of how it actually was, us living and respecting and being in harmony with nature and our spirit. It's a difference. Desecration of wisdom, artifacts, and symbols created separation. Since then, aliens have kept tabs on Earth and its inhabitants, watching enslavement, domination of the spirit with assimilation, and rapid devolving of genetics through dogma, mind control, and decay through fake foods. So again, about governments, religion, and control have devolved our connection with our spirit, aka humanity. Energetic weapons and energy rituals have blocked connection to communication on a higher frequency. What's the aftermath of that? Confusion. Being led by our lower self, not our higher self, right? I spoke about that earlier. Our lower self, the part of us that self-sabotages, the parts of us that overly identify with our ego, the parts of us that are offended by everything, the parts of us that are quick to become addicted to a food or a substance or a bad relationship, the parts of us that ruminate and overthink and overanalyze things to the point where it clouds our judgment and creates sickness because we don't sleep and we don't exercise and we don't stretch our bodies. Right? That is what I'm speaking on. Now humanity is like an animal in a zoo or an animal chained, no longer connected to the earth, natural living, or natural selection. So an example of that is with natural selection. If there was an invasive species or a predatory hunter, someone just taking an excess without knowledge or without giving back or without respecting the circle of life, the patterns of migration or the patterns of animal activity would change to try and correct this decision of greed. There would be those who did not do the studying and the research and listening to their ancestors, and they would not know which plants were invasive or poisonous or not good for consumption. Some of those things were just topical or on the skin. They weren't for ingesting. And they had to learn the hard way. But that is natural selection. If you are unaware, if you don't have that higher intuition, that intelligence, that connection in your spirit to tell you, hey, don't do that. Hey, don't go there. Hey, you're not safe here. Get out. Leave. Move from this area. Nature corrected that. There was no greed. There was no fear. There was intuition and cycles of life and death and rebirth with the planet. Those who have money today have corrupted humanity by choosing to hoard the wealth, number one, to strip access to resources and healthy living, again, natural living. They want us to get a pill, they want us to get a prescription, they want us to get an injection, they want us to get an appointment. All while taking our time, our money, and our vitality from us. When something goes wrong, what do they want you to do? Oh, check your blood pressure, do a blood panel analysis, do a urine analysis. Literally taking your DNA, literally taking your vitality, literally leaving you with less than you came there with. And did you find the answer? Did that fix the illness? Did that stop the problem? No. They want you to come back for another visit and a follow-up and a checkup and a follow-up and a referral after that, and taking time out of your life. Again, the intention is for those who live in the United States or who support them. Because you're not supporting health. You're not supporting vitality. You're supporting money. And those who hoard money, and those who want to build themselves up, those who want to take control over things, over people, over agencies, the bigger you are, the harder you will fall. I didn't write that down, but I've been hearing that as well. The bigger you are, the bigger you come, the more you try, that much more you will fall. That much more you will fail. That much more you will not succeed. In the Bible, they have a verse that says, the weapon may form, but it shall not prosper. Against me, against those who are listening to their spirit, against those who are choosing to ascend past corruption and greed and evil natures of their lower self and their ego. They will be spared. They will be given a way out. They will be given another path to take if they're not on the path that they need to be. So again, no longer connected to the earth's natural living or natural selection, those who have sold their souls have become hardened. Let me say that again. Those who have sold their souls have become hardened, mentally confused, and robotic. They're anti-human, they don't take care of themselves, and they're disconnected from their spirit. The confusion is from being puppeteered. They no longer see through their own eyes, bringing control, false light, and hatred. So again, their confusion is from being puppeteered and no longer being able to see through their own eyes. And another thing that they don't speak on in school, in healthcare systems, in clubs, churches, organizations, is the fact that we have a third eye. Is the fact that we have a chakra system for our energy that is attached to a region or a body part within us. We have these things ingrained and embedded in our spirit. But if you are confused or clouded, or going with whatever the world is saying, you are disconnected from your own divinity. You are disconnected to what is natural within yourself. Again, they want to talk about AI, artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence. Artificial as in fake. Artificial as in man-made. Artificial as in programmed. Artificial as in something with a limit. Artificial as in something that you need to access. We have natural intelligence. We have intuition. We have a connection to source that tells us everything that we need to know and do. Think of Chinese medicine. Think of herbal medicine. Think of root workers and Reiki practitioners. They have to have a higher level of intelligence. They have to have a higher knowing of the truth. They have to align with being grounded so they get the information in their spirit. They have to eat and live and speak life into the things that they do and create and share with others. They don't care about statistics. They don't care about random numbers. They don't care about celebrity culture. They don't care about gossip. They don't care about confusing the masses. They don't care about someone coming back to them for quick resources, for a subscription, for platforming over others. They don't live like that. They deserve respect. They deserve reverence. They deserve appreciation. They deserve a acknowledgement for their groundedness, for their studies, for their intelligence and dedication to the truth. Right? That's what they deserve. They do not deserve to be mocked or ridiculed or seen as less than or mentally ill when they are working with what was originally placed here, what was originally done, what was passed down through ancestors and generations and civilizations. Again, going back to Chinese medicine, they don't take pills. They take tea and herbal supplements. They don't have a life of inflammation and gut problems and colon cancer and skin cancer and mass manic people. They don't. Root workers are people who heal generational sicknesses, are those who speak to those in spirit, are those who heal their souls, who remove the confusion and illusion and blinds, who help people return to their sovereignty. I am a sovereign being. I am a sovereign body. I am a sovereign mind. I am a sovereign spirit. I belong to the light. To help people remember who they are and where they came from. They don't teach about separation. They don't teach about assimilation. They don't teach about going back to something that is harming them or it can be addictive. It's a difference to those who are tapped in. It's a difference to those who are doing the work. It's a difference to those who care about furthering humanity. That's love. That's standing in the truth. And that is being connected to what is put in their spirit. They dedicate their whole lives to helping people. They are the ones that the community pours back into. They're not disconnected from anything. Actually, they're connected to everything. You may not like them. You may think that their approaches to things are a bit different. You may see them as weird. But they are intelligent naturally. From when they were born. Everything they do has to be intentional. It's a difference. It's a difference to those who are sitting behind a monitor or a screen all day, asking something outside of them to entertain them, to ground them, to help solve their problems, to study for them, to research for them. All while they are not even in their own bodies and cannot even see through their own eyes. That is the point of why aliens will be coming back to help us. And not everyone will even be able to communicate. Not even everyone will be able to see them truly. Not everyone who is on this earth is meant to ascend. Some of them will see them and die of a heart attack. Some of them will pass away in mass, before the aliens come and touch down on this soil, on this planet. Some of them will see aliens and shrink inside of their bodies. Didn't think that was possible, but it will be. It will be. And it's not something to fear if you're right in your soul. If you know that you're a sovereign being. If you know that you're operating off of natural intelligence, speaking from your spirit. It's nothing to fear ever. They are here to help. And if you choose to harm others or yourself, you will not make it. you will not move forward with us. And again, I intended this message to reach those in the United States and those who support the United States, because they are not ascending humanity. Currently, they are taking away rights and hiding the chaos that they do. They, not me. I'm not a part of this. I'm not in their system. I don't participate. I'm speaking from the sight and the mind and the body of order. This is just a vessel. I hope that you ground yourself and protect the earth. She needs us all. And we, as a whole, as humanity, need to pick a side. We either need to go in order and love, or step out of the way. And I'd hate to see people take a step back. I'd hate to see people be removed from their own path. I'd hate to see people miss the warnings, miss those conversations that family members have with them, miss those headlines and those research articles, miss the natural order of the earth and what she is doing to bring balance. Don't let something outside of yourself govern you or blind you. Don't let it take hold. Things happen in seasons. So know what time it is and know where you are in the cycle of life and death and rebirth and replanting. Nothing is up to us until we do our part, until we decide that it's up to us to advance, to move forward. In order and love. Then we will all have peace and live long and prosper. So peace be unto you.